Welcome everybody to long division part 2. You have already watched the 2 by 1 long division video, and so today what we're going to learn is how to answer the question, how can you solve 3 by 1 multi-digit division problems using the standard algorithm? Now, just like I had mentioned in the first long division video, long division part 1, this standard algorithm is what I mean by long division. So, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get started.
So to begin, I'm going to model for you for our model problem how to divide 192 divided by 8. I'm going to use this mnemonic device over here on the bottom left, divide, multiply, subtract, check, and bring down, which could stand for does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? It does, or they do, but it also helps you to divide. So I'm going to first think how many 8s can I fit into this 1 right here in the hundreds place of 192. Well, it's safe to say that you can't fit a whole group of 8 into 1. So I'm going to place an X right above the 1 so I know not to confuse any steps. Now, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to now kind of join forces with the 9 right over here, and I'm going to make that 19. And I'm going to say how many 8s could I fit into 19? I know that there are at least 2 8s in 19, so now I've divided. My next step is to multiply, and what I need to multiply is the 2 up here multiplied by the 8, the divisor 8 right here, and that's going to give me an answer of 16. Now watch carefully how I line up the 16 below the 19. So now I've multiplied. Next step is to subtract, and I'm going to subtract 19 minus 16, and that gives me an answer of 3. I've now subtracted. Now I've got to check. And what do I have to check, you might be asking yourself? Well, I've got to check to see, are there any more numbers that I have to still divide, that I have to deal with? And as a matter of fact, I do. It's this 2, and I have to take this 2 and I have to bring it down so it rests next to the 3. I can show that by drawing an arrow, that arrow is going to move the 2 right over here. Now, I've checked, I've brought that number down, and now I start over again. So instead of erasing these check marks, I'm just going to place another one right next to it. So, now watch carefully at the red cursor here. Instead of dividing anything over here, I'm now going to find out how many 8s can I fit into 32, or how many 8s can be evenly divided into 32. So what I'm now going to think to myself is basic facts, and I'm going to say, well, 8 times 4 is exactly 32. So I will put a 4 right above it. So I've divided, and now it's time to multiply. But now I'm going to multiply the 4 times the 8. I've already multiplied this 2, so I don't want to do that again. But I know 4 times 8 is 32. So I will place my 32 down here. Oop. Not 30. 32. And it's now time to subtract. So I'm going to subtract 32 minus 32. That gives me 0. Now I have to check again. Any more numbers to bring down or deal with are up here? Nope, not at all. So now that also means that there will be nothing left to bring down. So I'm finished. I'm complete, and my answer is 24. Now for your first practice problem, I'd like you to divide 539 divided by 4. And what I'd like you to do now, though, is to press the pause button. Try your best to solve it on your own. When you're done, you can press play and watch me solve it, and then you can check your own math thinking. Okay, so now you've solved it, and here's my solution. So 4 into 5, I can do that once. So 1 times 4 is 4. So I've divided and I've multiplied. And now I have to subtract. And that's 1. I have to check. I have a 3 that I have to deal with right here. So I've checked, and I'm going to bring down that 3. Okay, so I've brought them down. Now I have to divide 4 into 13, or 13 divided by 4, and I have to get close. And I know that 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 wouldn't work because that would be 16. That would be too high. But I know that, let's see, I can fit 3 groups of 4. So I've divided again. Okay? And I'm going to multiply again. I'm going to multiply 3 times 4, which is 12. Okay? And now it's time to subtract. I'm going to subtract 13 minus 12, and I'm going to place a 1 right here. I'm going to check to see if I still have even more numbers to deal with, and I still do. I have this 9, and I have to bring this 9 all the way down here. So I've checked, and now I will bring down that 9, place it here, brought them down, and now I actually have to go through this does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers a third time. So I'm going to divide 4 into 19, or how many 4s can I fit into 19 without going over? And I know that I can fit at least 4. 5 would be too many because that would be 20. So I know that there are at least 4. Okay? And I've divided a third time. I'm going to multiply a third time. 4 times 4 is 16. So I'm going to place a 16 right over here, multiplied. I'm going to subtract 19 minus 16, or 19 subtract 16, and I'm going to get a 3. I'm going to check to see if there are more numbers to deal with up here. I do not, which also means I have nothing left to bring down, and I'm finished. So I know that that number right down here has to be brought all the way up here to my quotient, and I know that my answer for this problem is 134 with a remainder of 3.
So for practice problem 2 and practice problem 3 on the back side of your organizer, I'd like you to solve 187 divided by 8 and 625 divided by 5. So once again in this lesson, you answered the question, how can you solve 3 by 1 division problems using the standard algorithm, also known as long division. Good luck, and look forward to seeing all your hard work.